Good day. This is Lateesha with Soul Spread Wisdom. And today I am continuing on my series, finishing the series on Chiron through the houses. And so today we are discussing having Chiron in the natal 12th house and how this can show up in the life of the native. And if you want to check back, I have podcasts that are recorded on Chiron and the mythology around Chiron and the original wound that he experienced, which was the wound of rejection from his mother, and abandonment from his mother. So for each of us, wherever we have Chiron in the natal chart, there is a wound that is a part of us. And this wound lends itself to us having a feeling or a fear of rejection or abandonment in the particular area where Chiron is located. So the 12th house, according to ancient astrology, is associated with isolation, loss. It is associated with mental health. It's on the axis of health, which is the 6th and the 12th house axis. So with Chiron here, one of the significant fears that can manifest is a fear of illness. And it could be similar to hypochondriac symptoms. I think hypochondriacism. And this is where you have just a fear of having a sickness that will take you out. But it is created in the mind. It is an anxiety that is created from your subconscious mind, and perhaps a sickness. Where when you were young, you experienced a sickness and perhaps no one was there to see you. No one was there to take you to the doctor. Maybe you experienced this, early on, because typically the wound happens between the ages from the time you were in your mother's womb up until the age of 7 or 8. So perhaps when you were younger, there was a sickness that you experienced and nobody saw you, or nobody was there to take you to the doctor, and you didn't get the nurturing that you had. And then there developed this fear of being sick and not being able to be saved in time or being cared for in time. And then it ultimately, the fear could be that it will ultimately lead to death. And so in the mind, this fear creates phantom symptoms. And then you go to the doctor and the doctor is not able to find anything. And so this is a way that it can show up. And, where we see Chiron, where we find Chiron, we find an area where we have unique gifts and talents. So in this house is an opportunity for deep research, deep spiritual work that other people are not able to tap into necessarily, or at least not in the way that you can. So being able to connect with spirit, to connect with God, to connect with the divine, in order to bring peace to your mind. And, it is understood that where the mind has peace, then the body will have peace and the body will heal. And it's well understood that if the body is ill, then there is stress that is on the mind. And it is understood that where there is stress on the mind, there is stress on the body, and illness will present itself. If there is illness in the mind, the illness will present itself in the body. If there is illness in the body, it will present itself with stress and frustration and mental anxiety. And so one of the ways that can be so beautiful to work with Chiron in the 12th house is to have a dedicated spiritual practice, whether it is connecting with the spirit of nature or connecting with Christ or connecting with the ancestors or connecting with any way of working with spirit in order to bring peace and healing to the mind will in fact translate into the body and into every area of your life. You know, Chiron in the 12th house is one of the most challenging places because, again, it is the house of loss. You know, it is the house associated with the mind and with mental health. It's associated with isolation, you know, this fear of being alone, fear of not being seen can show up with Chiron here. And in the same thing, you know, the fear in this area is healed by connecting to spirit, because the 12th house is understood to be the bridge between the spirit realm and the natural world. It is the place that represents the womb, you know, the place where you are before you cross into the birth canal and come out into the world. This is represented by the 12th house. So it is a place where the healing can take place by connecting to the spirit realm, by crossing the bridge and connecting with spirit to get some answers, to get some healing. You know, working with Tai Chi, working with yoga, these sorts of things can bring healing to the fears of Chiron, the fear of abandonment, the fear of rejection that goes on in the deepest parts of the mind in this area. Well, I thank you so much for listening. Again, my name is Lateesha, and I am with Soul Spread Wisdom. If you would like to speak with me, you can find me at soulspreadwisdom.com, or you can email me at info@soulspreadwisdom.com. Ase 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 O, Yod He Vav He.